feel free to ask questions in the chat during our presentation, and then at the end we'll have an audience Q&A so we can answer all the questions at the end. And also for SEA, we're creating a teacher appreciation video. So could all the participants like try to record a video or create like a piece of artwork that represents your appreciation towards your Chinese school teacher or like your math teacher, like 周老师. So just try to record a video or create a piece of artwork, and you can send it to either your teacher or you can send it to 宋老师. Okay. And we also have a ice skating event tomorrow from 7:30 to 9:15 p.m. So you guys should also go to that event because it'll be really fun and it's free. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so meet your panelists. Hi, my name is Maggie Tu. 我中文名字是涂世柳, and I'm a junior in the Princess Anne High School IB program.
Hello, I'm Will Jing. 我中文名字叫姜威尔, and this year I am a junior at Ocean Lakes High School Math and Science Academy.
Hi, my name is Kalani Song. 中文名字是宋文清, and I'm a sophomore at Princess Anne High School's IB program too.
Hello, my name is Kevin Jiang, and I'm a sophomore at Ocean Lakes High School, and my Chinese name is 我的中文名字是江凯光。
Hi, my name is Luna He, and I'm a sophomore at Princess Anne High School. 我的中文名字是何嘉璇。
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Yang. 中文名字是殷晨爱, and I'm a sophomore in Oscar Smith High School IB program.
Okay, so the academies that we'll be going over with you guys today is the IB program, which is also short for the International Baccalaureate program at Princess Hannah High School and Oscar Smith High School. And we'll also be going over the Math and Science Academy at Ocean Lakes High School. And we can also answer your questions about other academies if you guys have them in the chat. But these are the academies that we participate in and that we can answer the most questions about. So the first question is, what are the strengths of each academy and what makes each academy special?
I can go first and I can talk about the IB program. So I think the biggest strength about IB is how it prepares you for college and also all of the writing that you have to do. I used to really hate writing, and I kind of still do, but IB really improves your writing and communication skills at like really quickly. In like 1 year, your level can jump up by so much. And the amount of like work and like the type of work you get, it prepares you for college and like prepares you to be able to communicate with like your professors or whoever, and it's generally just helping you be successful in the rest of your life.
I also want to add on that IB doesn't like specify in a specific course. So if you aren't really sure what major you want to go into, like IB would be a good choice because it gives you time to think about it and it gives you like the basic courses to take for to prepare you for college.
Well, I want to speak for Math and Science Academy at Ocean Lakes. So as in the name applies, Math and Science Academy, the strengths of the MSA is math and science. I think that's pretty obvious, but one of the other things that makes MSA really stand out is senior projects, and this is one of the things that really stands out in Ocean Lakes because the teachers really fuss about this. Is basically a long-term process of your whole entire high school career to make a final project that will actually impact our society. This can be all the way from music science from like the tone, different pitches, how it affects the body, all the way to like health science, like joint area, cancer, nuclear research. And this is like the range and the variety of different things you can do in Ocean Lakes really makes it really strong.
I also want to add the fact that Ocean Lakes also emphasizes on STEM a lot. For example, in 11th grade or junior year, you gotta take a STEM class. So
Oh, I can speak more on that. I'm taking the class right now. So yeah, STEM, like the senior project, you'll also work toward a final goal that you'll basically engineer, and what will this basically your product solve. And yeah, so all of these courses that you're required to take really advances your career. Like the first year you take Ocean Lakes, you'll be introduced to magnet chemistry, and then magnet biology the next year. And now this year you'll from me 11th grade you're going to take magnet STEM, integrated STEM, and these little tiny courses really help you advance to like the college world.
And I would like to add on for the Princess Anne High School IB program. So since I'm a junior and the IB program officially starts in your junior year, because in your freshman and sophomore year, that's when you're in the IB MYP program, which is the middle years program. And as a junior, the strengths of IB is definitely like writing, because in our junior year we have a lot of timed essays, and that may scare you, but it's honestly not that bad. And if you prepare for them, then you'll do somewhat decent. And it just definitely helps you with preparing for college apps in the future, because you'll have to write like essays, a bunch of essays for college apps. So IB definitely prepares you for that. And IB is just like the workload is heavy, but a lot of people say that once they get into college after graduating from the IB program, that like they're better at managing their time than other people.
I have something to add to like what Will said about the senior projects. So once you go to Ocean Lakes on your first year, your freshman year, you'll do this research paper called the APA research paper, and you can build off that into the iSearch paper, which you do in sophomore year. And you also do like another research for junior year. And that you can like build off those into your senior project. So you can basically start from freshman year on kind of your senior project would be.
Yeah, and what make these research papers really nice is that you can put them on your resume as a research project almost, and that looks really nice on your resume, because always having a research project on the side just looks really professional.
And for IB, as in the terms of projects, we have well, in sophomore year we have the personal project, which is basically like a 2-month, 3-month-ish project where you basically choose a topic that you're passionate about. So any topic, anything you want to write about, and you'll choose that topic, you'll discover more about that topic, and you'll delve deeper, and you'll have to write a 15-page reflection, which is an IB requirement, but it is like it definitely helps strengthen your writing and communication skills. And in junior year, you'll have to do a collaborative sciences project. So it's just a one-day event where you show up at school, and basically you are put into these groups of 3 or 4, and the people in your group are all from different sciences. So in junior year, you get to choose which science you want to take. So for example, I'm taking like IB Chem, and then other people in my group are taking IB Bio or IB Physics. And then we'd have to like collaborate on a project or an experiment, and then we'll have to create a presentation that relates to all 3 of our sciences, and we'll have to present that. And we also have to do a CAST project, which is like a service project, which I don't know too much details about it because I haven't done it yet, but it's I think it's like a volunteering project. And IB also requires you to volunteer 4 times each year. So, and you'll have to like reflect on that too. So that also looks good on college applications if you have like volunteering experience.
I just wanted to add that the 15-page essay is double spaced, and also you can add lots and lots of pictures, so it's actually not that bad.
Is there any more to add from the panelists? Okay, so we can move on to the next question. Which high schools did you apply to and which ones did you get into? So I can start this one off. So I applied to 2 high schools. I applied to Princess Anne IB program and I applied to the Ocean Lakes Math and Science Academy. And I got into both, but I ended up choosing IB, which I'll explain my reasoning in the next question because it'll ask about why you chose your current high school.
Okay, I can go next. So I applied to 6 high schools. I applied to the Entrepreneurship and Business Academy at Kempsville, the IB program at Princess Anne, the Legal Studies Academy at First Colonial, the Math and Science Academy at Ocean Lakes, Governor's STEM and Technology at Lansdowne, and the Health and Science Academy at Bayside. And then I ended up picking Princess Anne, and it was really a struggle like between picking between Princess Anne and Ocean Lakes for me.
So I actually only applied to the Princess Anne IB program, which I wouldn't recommend it because, well, if you don't get in, then you kind of don't have a choice. But I chose it because I was sure that I wanted to go to PA, so yeah, and I got in.
Yeah, I can also go next. So like Luna, I only applied for Math and Science Academy, which is not a good idea as Luna said. If you get rejected by that high school, that leaves you with no choice. But at the same time, if you do go to your zone high school and you can still apply for the gifted program there after when you got in, there's like a couple friends, there's some friends that like go to Ocean Lakes but not in when they're freshman year they're not in the program, but after a year they can retest it again. They retook the math and science tests and they got in, so that's always a plus. And my initial thought was that if I only apply for one, I only need to study really hard for one test, which is the math and science test. And I thought I can, but at the end of the day, it worked out. But definitely recommend you apply for like Kalani apply for a lot of different variations, so you kind of have a lot of choices. So yeah.
I applied to the Kinsale Business Academy, the Lansdowne STEM, the Governor's STEM Academy, and Ocean Lakes Math and Science Academy. And I just chose Ocean Lakes.
So I applied to 3 academies in Chesapeake. So I applied to the Grassfield High School STEM Academy, and then Oscar Smith High School's IB Academy, and then Deep Creek Science and Medicine Academy. I got in all 3 of them, but I chose to go to all.
Okay, so the next question is, what tests or essays did you have to take or submit to each high school you applied to? So, for Princess Anne High School, since it's been a while, since I applied to high school, I don't remember the specific essay prompts but I do remember that you had to have a teacher recommendation. And the test that you took, well, you basically took this IB test, but it's basically like a thinking test to see the way you think, because IB, they value like your thinking and your diverse perspectives over your grades. So even if you don't have that good of grades, you can still get in by like showing your uniqueness through that test, because there are some written questions where you have to write about your response and you can show that you're unique and they will accept you. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add that for the Math and Science Academy, I also took this like math and science test, which is actually like about math and science, like the subjects themselves. So you have to study a little bit for those tests.
I can explain further the for the math and science tests. Definitely go over algebra as I'm pretty sure they don't test anything about geometry. Since some people didn't take geometry, but they still allow that cushion. So if you haven't taken geometry yet, you still have a chance to get into the program. So definitely algebra 1, pre-algebra is definitely like a must review. And for the science portion, for me, definitely the science portion was a lot easier than the math portion, as the majority of the science portion was like common sense. Like they give you like a graph or like a trends table, and they tell you to like evaluate it, like what's going on from this point to this point. I also remember there was a couple like currents and electricity questions, which is not that bad. There were definitely a lot of geology questions. I remember when I took it, there was something to do with rocks and like hardness scale, I think. And at the end there'll be like a couple like free response questions at the end of the test. That's what I remember from the from the test. Yeah.
So for the IB program, I don't think you actually don't have to answer a prompt. But like Maggie said, you do have to take a test. And for all of the high schools, when you apply, you have to write like a short, like few paragraphs about your like future goals and your interests, just so they can see like what you're interested in and like how well you fit into the program.
Okay, I just wanted to add on to that. So you do actually have to write an essay for Princess Anne and also Ocean Lakes, as well as the test. And you also have to write, have to list all your extracurriculars and all your awards. You have to like say something about like the future career you want to, like career path you want to go to. And I'm pretty sure the essay prompts are the same every year. So there's one that's asking you about a problem that you solved or the problem that you want to solve and like why it's important to you. And then there's another one that's like describe something that you find so engaging that you lose track of time. And you have to like explain why it's interesting. And then you have to there's one about like what the best piece of advice you've ever received is and how it's influenced your life. And then the one that I wrote was describe a time when you faced a challenge or setback and how it affected like, you and what you learned from the experience. And I'm pretty sure there's like a word limit on all of these essays too. So
Any more to add?
In Chesapeake, it might be a little different. I don't know. But for the IB admission test, I had to like write an essay about a book that like inspired and impacted you. And then for the STEM test, I had to like code and design something, and then I had to write an essay about it. And then for the Science and Medicine Academy, I just had to answer like 50 questions based on science and math. And then like for all the academies, you need your core teachers to write a recommendation letter.
one more thing about the Princess Anne entrance test. They give you a lot of like rebus puzzles, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like some words or pictures with like a secret hidden meaning that you have to look through to find out. So I remember one of them, there were the word secret was listed 3 times, like stacked on top of each other, and then the first one was red, and then you had to figure out what it meant. It means top secret, like that's like the hidden meaning behind the picture. But if you want practice, you can look them up, and there's a whole bunch online.
Also for the application process, when you're writing those essays, when you're submitting the applications, you don't often need to write different essays. You can just copy and paste and just change the names for the academies that you're applying to.
Okay, next question. Why did you choose your current high school that you go to? So, even though I got into both the IB program and the Math and Science Academy, I chose the IB program because like writing was my weakness, so I wanted to improve on it. So that's why I chose the IB program. And also because Princess Anne High School is closer to my house, so it is more convenient because Ocean Lakes High School is like 40 minutes away from my house, and I don't want to wake up at like 5 a.m. every single day to like go to my school, and it would just be really inconvenient for like school activities. Like if you wanted to stay after school for a club, it would take you like 40 minutes to get back home. So also location is a pretty important factor, but I'd say that even if PA and Ocean Lakes were the same distance away from my house, I still would have chosen Princess Anne High School.
Yeah, so like I said, I only applied for PA, but the reason why I applied was because I wasn't really sure like what major I wanted to go in or like what topics I was interested in. And so I didn't really want to go into an academy and then like regret it because it was focused on that one topic. So the IB program's really good because it doesn't focus on like one topic, and I can like choose what classes I want based on like interests as I find like later on.
Well, for me, I definitely know that I want to pursue a career basically related to math, perhaps science, maybe perhaps health science region. So I definitely think that when I decided, I know for sure that I wanted to go to Math and Science Academy. And like Maggie, even though I know that uh the Ocean Lakes is also like 40 minutes away from me, I still want to go to this school because I just know that this is where I want to be.
So I picked Princess Anne even though I got into all 6 academies I applied for, mainly because I 4 of the 6 that I applied for were all backup schools because I was just really like I was not confident that I was gonna get into any of like Princess Anne or Ocean Lakes. But I got into all of them, and then I was mainly picking between Princess Anne and Ocean Lakes. And the reason I picked Princess Anne over Ocean Lakes was because firstly, like I didn't know where I wanted like what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Secondly, I felt like my math and science, like even though I got in, I did not feel confident enough to be going to a school where it was just solely math and science. And then also like there's like location. So Princess Anne was like a lot closer to my house. It's like 10 minutes away versus Ocean Lakes, which is like also like 45 minutes away. And then lastly was that I was thinking like my English was really, really bad. So I wanted to level up my writing skills. So I picked Princess Anne.
Yeah, even like since I applied to 3 schools and I got to all 3, I feel like I just chose Ocean Lakes because that was like only school I had to do a test for, and I didn't really need to do much to apply to the other schools. So since I just put in the most effort to apply for Ocean Lakes, and I just chose Ocean Lakes.
I also want to add like a little disclaimer that even though you're in Ocean Lakes Math and Science Academy, you still do like history and English. Like you can still do AP Lang and AP US History, AP Gov. It's just that they just specialize a bit more in math and the science region. So I just want to clear up if anyone had that confusion.
Would anyone else want to add? Okay. What clubs and opportunities does your school offer, and which clubs are you currently in? So, in terms of clubs, I'll first say which clubs I'm currently in. So, I'm part of Math Honor Society and the medical club, and I sometimes go to the Asian American Association club meetings just for fun. But what clubs and opportunities does your school offer? So we actually have a lot of clubs and a lot of like unique ones, but I would say that PA does focus more on the like cultural aspects. So we have a lot of culture clubs, like we have French Honor Society, we have a new Italian Honor Society club, and then we have Asian American Association, Filipino culture honor society. And then we also have Black Student Union and just a bunch of those like culture clubs. But other than culture clubs, we also have like honor society, so math honor society, science honor society, and national honor society. And we also have some other clubs like computer science club, psychology club. We also have like Dungeons and Dragons club, Harry Potter club, like chess club, and pretty sure like a physics club or something. But yeah, because a lot of these clubs are student led, so basically students can choose to open up any club they want as long as they like fill out this form and have at least 10 students who are interested in joining that club sign it, then they can start that club.
I just want to add that like in PA, if you want to create in Ocean Lakes, if you want to create your own club, the requirements to make a club is the same thing. You need 10 people, and you need to fill a form. You need a co-companion with your club, and you need like a club advisor that will look over your club. Yeah, so I find that yeah, so they're like pretty similar. I'm in the Ocean Lakes teams and clubs menu. So I can share that with everyone. So this is a link I found. This lists all the current clubs inside Ocean Lakes High School. You see they have everything from astronomy club to investment clubs, to English Honor Society, Latin Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society. So just like PA, there's a lot of diverse different kind of clubs, kindness club, for example. So I'm in programming club right now. I'm also in like other things like class of 2025. I'm the executive board of that, and those things are organized by students with a with 1 or 2 club advisors. I'm also in the general assembly for the SEA, and yeah, that's it.
So this doesn't really count as a club, but a band is like a big part of PA, and it's actually the reason that convinced me to apply for PA. And we have a lot of like bands at PA. We have the wind ensemble, symphonic band, jazz band, and a bunch of other ones. And basically I think our band is like one of the top in Virginia Beach, so it's really good. We have a really good band program.
So I'm publicist of the Asian American Association, historian of the Psychology Club, and then I'm also a member in Math Honor Society and Science Honor Society. And wait, also I'm a videographer of a club called IB Pen Pals. I may or may not be missing other clubs, but those are like the main ones. And I think Maggie and Luna pretty much covered like all the clubs that there are at Princess Anne, but yeah.
There's
Also,
also
you can go. You can go. It's fine.
okay. There's also sports that schools offer, like for example, volleyball, wrestling, swimming, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, like all those types of sports that schools offer.
And we also had some clubs I didn't mention, like we have FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. It's basically a competition, and you guys would like prep together and hold fundraisers to fund for your chapter, because you have to pay these like dues to be considered like a national chapter or something. And
Oh, yeah. So I'm also in a club, I forgot to mention, that also does the same thing as that, where you kind of like your school is like supported by a chapter, and this is like a national thing. It's called FCCLA. I'm not sure if anyone heard that before or this exists in PA, but FCCLA is like one of the big thing, and you basically focus on volunteering and leadership. And yeah, I also want to add on Kevin. So on top of sports and like band and music, Ocean Lakes is like just like PA, is extremely competitive in extracurriculars. Like I also know PA's so Scholastical is also really good, as well as our Scholastical, where they do trivia questions. I know both orchestras are like in the top of the region. I definitely know that like basically like I'm pretty sure our band won like national championship whatever last week. So like it's just like both schools are extremely competitive and really high ranking in like the nation.
Yeah. Well, some clubs my school offers that I haven't mentioned are like drama club and then like creative writing club, forensics, IB leadership committee, Spanish club, beta club, and so yeah, there's like a wide variety of clubs to pick.
And I definitely want to add that if you guys are more interested in like competitions and the more like academic clubs, I feel like Ocean Lakes will be better. But if you guys are focused on more of like, I guess, culture clubs and stuff, like PA does have a lot of those. And PA still has some like competition clubs, but they're not as popular. So yeah. Anything else that you guys would like to share?
Oh, there's also a Asian culture club in Ocean Lakes. It's pretty popular. There's also like a Chinese culture club as well.
Okay. That's it for all the questions that we had or we thought that you guys would want to ask. So let's look in the chat for some questions. Okay, do you feel your friends influence your decision making? I would say not really, because during my year it was COVID year, so we had 8th grade over Zoom and I wasn't able to like talk to a lot of my friends, so like I didn't really know which school they were going to. And I originally just wanted to go to Princess Anne High School in the IB program anyway, so even if most of them went to Ocean Lakes, I would have still gone to the same school. And it turns out that a lot of people from my year, or like people that I know, went to Princess Anne High School's IB program. So
Yeah, I can 100% relate to Maggie, as I'm also a junior, and when I had 8th grade, I was also online and have and did everything online, all the courses, all the classes. And yeah, I was quite shocked to see during the entrance exam for the MSA, I saw like a lot of my friends was also there like taking the test.
I do want to add that like friends can definitely have a big influence on like what you choose, and you have to think like just because your friends go to like choose a school doesn't mean you should go, because everybody is different and has different strengths. So you should try to pick a school that best fits with your strengths.
So I agree with what Luna said. I also want to add on that like your friends aren't permanent. So you could have a friend in like middle school and then you could go to high school and you could just never talk to them ever again. But with that being said, my friends really influenced my decision making for which high school I should go to. And it was kind of like almost split like 50-50 down like which of my friends went to Ocean Lakes and which went to Princess Anne. But it was like the fact that in 8th grade I didn't really have that many close friends. So it was like my closer friends that weren't from school that all went to Princess Anne that like kind of pushed me to go to Princess Anne more than Ocean Lakes.
yeah, and you'll make a lot of new friends in high school. So even if you go to a school where you don't have a lot of friends in, you'll find your people. Okay. And then the next question. How is your workload? For IB, like if you take no AP classes and you solely just take all the basic IB requirements, it really isn't that bad. And if you don't do any extracurriculars, then you'll definitely have enough time to get all A's. But if you're factoring in the time, that you spend on AP classes, so like additional classes other than IB classes, and like extracurriculars such as sports, hobbies, like instruments and clubs, then it's definitely a lot more. And especially because like I'm officially in the IB program, so the workload is heavier than my sophomore and freshman years. So the workload is pretty heavy. Like I'm super stressed right now for a history essay, but it's fine. And you'll definitely get through it because like yeah, just everything works out in the end. So yeah.
So for adding on to what Maggie said, if you're only taking like the basic classes and the basic requirements, no extracurriculars, no anything else, you should only have like 1 hour or a little bit more of homework. But also depends on like the AP classes that you take, because some AP classes give a whole lot more homework than other AP classes, and some classes like you shouldn't compare yourself to like how much work your friends have either, because some classes like you could be struggling in it, but your friend could be like knocking out the homework in like 10 minutes while it takes you like an hour. So it really just like depends on you and what classes you're taking. But you can like all the stuff is manageable. Like this year I'm taking 10 classes, so that's like I had to get extra classes outside of school, and I'm still managing and I'm still getting straight A's in all my classes. So
Yeah, I want to 100% agree with what you guys said. As in, also in Ocean Lakes, if you're just taking the magnet classes, the MSA regular cap classes, it's really not that difficult. If you just like spend perhaps like 30 minutes, 1 hour a day, if you just know APs, you can absolutely ace everything in school. But if you start filling up your courses with tons of AP classes, that's just where it gets hard. And you're also like I also agree with the statement, like there's different hardness levels to different AP courses. Like you cannot compare AP chemistry to like AP computer science principles, because those two classes have like way different workload. As one of them, like I basically get no homework in, and one of them I get like 2 hours of homework a day. So those are like not comparable. And yeah, so basically you just want to manage your time really well, do not procrastinate, and yeah, basically just choose the correct courses that you want to take.
And I also want to add that like I personally think that extracurriculars are more important than your grades nowadays. So I think, but like still try to maintain straight A's, but yeah, just try to also like spend time on extracurriculars outside of school, because like studying 24/7 isn't a good way to spend your time. Does anyone else want to add stuff?
I can add something. Like my workload, you can say it's a decent amount, but like since I procrastinate a lot, I wouldn't really say it's a lot. But since my French teacher don't teach French anymore, I have to take it online, which is like harder because it's pretty hard to learn a language online.
Yeah, I would say that if you don't procrastinate, like if you come back home from school and let's say you get home at 2:30 or 3, then if you come back home at that time, and even if you're taking like a bunch of AP classes, if you start doing your homework right as you get home, then you'll probably finish your homework like before dinner, or maybe just by 8 or 9 o'clock. But if you procrastinate, then you'll probably finish your homework at like 11 or 12 o'clock. So that's not good. And also your teacher really like makes a difference on how hard the class is and your workload. So like even if you're taking an AP class, if you have a really chill teacher that doesn't care about your grades and gives you all A's and doesn't give you any homework, then you won't have to worry too much about that class until May. So yeah. What school might have more competitive sports teams. So at Princess Anne High School, I would say that our best sport would be field hockey or tennis. Like, oh yeah, girls basketball actually. Girls basketball always goes to states, and sometimes I think we went to nationals. I don't know. I don't like pay attention to schools like sports, but I definitely say that if you want to join our football team, don't go to PA.
So for Ocean Lakes, I'm not exactly sure about like lots of other sports, but I know that Ocean Lakes men's volleyball are really good.
I don't know if marching band counts as a sport, but the marching band at Princess Anne is pretty good because we normally always make it to finals.
At Oscar Smith, probably boys basketball, football, or track.
And I also want to say that I don't think we're the best people to answer these competitive sports teams questions because I don't think a lot of us do sports. Like we're more focused on like instruments or other extracurriculars. So sorry about that. And the next question. When applying, what is the application process? Like, do you have to meet at the school and take the test or write the essay at home and just wait for an email? So if you're applying for Princess Anne High School IB program or Ocean Lakes High School's Math and Science Academy, then you'll have to write your essays at home and you have to take the test at the school. So yeah.
When I applied, I had to like write the essay and like all the test questions like on a Google Meet, and like we have a time limit like 1 hour or something. But like this year, I think for IB and Chesapeake, the application, like the tests are in person this year. So you have like an hour or like an hour 30 minutes, and like there's gonna be like a prof for that, and it's like in person on your phone.
And since there's no more questions in the chat, I just wanted to add this question because maybe some of you guys are wondering it. But so the question is like, what advice will we give to incoming freshmen in high school? Like, what's our best piece of advice for new people? So personally, I think the best advice is to join a lot of clubs in freshman year and then drop a lot of them in sophomore year. So basically, like you join a lot of clubs in freshman year, so you have a lot of options because freshman year is your least stressful year. So you won't have a lot of schoolwork. You can focus more on the extracurriculars. So join a lot of clubs, meet a lot of new people, and make friends. And then figure out which club aligns with your interests the most, or which club do you feel like time flies by really fast when you're in it. And then figure out which clubs that you want to stay in, which clubs that you want to be more than just a club member, like be an officer. So yeah, so basically like figure that out in your freshman year, and then in your sophomore year, you can like already have the clubs that you want to stay in mind, and you don't have to like go to every single club meeting. So like if you don't like this club after the first club meeting, then you don't have to go to the next one. Like it's not like you're glued to that club. So yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice. Oh, and also in freshman year, just be a good student. Like participate in class and don't just talk to your friends and go on your phone. Because you should definitely try to make good connections with your teachers, because like obviously don't try to be nice to a teacher because oh you want them to write your college rec, but actually just like spend more time with teachers that you actually like and you feel like you can get close to. So like don't force yourself to feel the need to get close to a teacher because they'd help you write a recommendation letter, but actually do it because you like them as a person and a teacher.
There was a question, was the transition from 8th to 9th grade easy? And I would say it was really easy. 9th grade is pretty much the same as 8th grade, except you're just with a bunch of different people. The workload is pretty similar, if not like if you manage your time better, it could be like even less work. And I know I was really, really scared to go into high school because like it was a completely different environment, and I went to my past school for 7 years. So it was literally like half my life, like all leaving me. And there was definitely some tears before I went to high school, but going to high school is like it's just a different building and different people. It's like the same thing. Just keep doing what you've been doing, you'll be fine. And then there's another question that says, in high school are there a lot of different groups of people? And which one's the best to hang out with? I wouldn't say, like, personally, I don't think there are like the stereotypical groups of like the nerds and the jocks and the drama kids or whatever. I just hang out with like whoever you like to hang out with and whoever makes you happy, because honestly like it your whole friend group really determines how great your high school years are. So if you're hanging out with people that you don't enjoy being around, then your whole high school life is going to be really miserable.
And then I want to add on to Maggie because I really agree that like you should try out a lot of clubs, because finding like a group of people you're comfortable with, it gives you some like people to lean on. And because like the clubs, they have sophomores, freshmen, juniors, and seniors, there's going to be people who have taken the classes that you have, and they're able to like help you with homework and like answer your questions. And then I do want to add on to Kalani, I'm in the band, so people do call us the band kids, but we're the same. Like it's like really just a name they give us.
To answer was the transition easy? Yeah, it was pretty easy because yeah, 9th grade just really wasn't that hard, honestly. Maybe it was like maybe 30 minutes more of homework, but that's pretty much it. And in high school, there are a lot of different groups of kids. So basically, like I said, like Kalani said, there aren't those like stereotypical groups of kids. Like there isn't a specific like popular group or like nerdy group or like a jocks group. So, and also which one's best to hang out with. There isn't a right answer, like it differs from person to person, but definitely hang out with people who you like aspire to be. So basically it's like hang out with people who have the same interests as you, and I feel like your friend group really shapes who you are as a person. So if you surround yourself with people who don't care about school, then you won't care about school. If you surround yourself with people who are nerds, maybe like because then you'll care more about school, and like they'll influence you, like they'll have a positive influence on you. And try to find the good qualities in people. So just because someone may be bad at math, they can be good at English, and you can try to be better at English because of them, and like they can help you in English. And then maybe you're bad at English but you're good at math, so you guys can just help each other. So I think that's like the best kind of friendship. And also, are there mean students? Are there mean students like in the movie Mean Girls? Okay, there aren't. Well, in the IB program, so since you're in the IB program, you only have classes with IB students. So obviously there may be more mean kids in the zone students group, because yeah, but basically in the IB program, I would say that there aren't people who are mean or bully you because they seek joy in that. There's just people who may be rude and obnoxious and just people who think that they're better than other people. And those kind of people, just try not to care about them and just don't be friends with them. Like, don't talk to them.
I also want to say, this kind of thing also happens in MSA. So like the MSA kids, the Math and Science Academy kids, usually don't have classes with the normal students. And yeah, so everyone in the Math and Science Academy wants to be there, and they know that if they do something like bad, like bully or something, they're gonna get kicked out of the program. If their GPA gets like to a certain degree, they also get kicked out of the program. I don't want to scare anyone, but like if you just focus on your like studies, you won't get kicked out of the program. But yeah, I also want to add upon like the shifting transition from 8th grade to 9th grade. I want to say that in high school, you're given a lot more power on like the courses you want to take. Like in throughout middle school, typically the courses already planned for you, like 7th grade math or 7th grade English. But in 9th grade and actually approaching to 10th grade, you get to choose what kind of APs you want to take. You get to choose if you want to be honors, AP, or just regular, and you get to have all these options. And I heard again and again from like my upperclassmen that don't just fill your schedule of just random filler APs. You want to pick things that will actually help you in the future. Like if you want to be an engineer, go for the magnet physics path. Go to after that, go to AP Physics C and continue building. And if you want to be like a pre-med student, pick anatomy class, do certain like biology, AP biology, microbiology. Don't just like randomly pick things that you're not interested in, and just to boost your GPA, as some colleges just look at just your base GPA. So yeah.
I do want to add on it, like you should also like try different like APs, not just ones that are related to the major you want to pursue, because maybe you'll be able to find like a new topic that like really interests you, and you'll be able to find something that like is like really fun for you.
Adding on to the thing that Maggie said about friends, she said like pick friends that will help you, or like that they have like attributes that like you think that are good. I wouldn't make friends just based off of their like labels, or like labels that you can assign them. So I wouldn't make friends with someone just because they were good at English or just because they were good at time management, because that could lead to like a toxic relationship where all you do is just like mooch off of them and try to get their stuff, and then you get like jealous and it'll be a whole bunch of like drama between you and your friend. So I would pick someone who, like, sure, they can be good at English or whatever subject that you're bad at, but I would pick them based off of their qualities, like if they're kind or like loyal or whatever, and I wouldn't go based off of like if they're good at a subject or have however many awards.
Is there anything anyone else would like to add?
Oh yeah. So there are some people in school who do drugs, but I recommend you guys not hang out with those kind of people. So yeah.
Oh, and kind of like on the whole drug thing, a lot of people do drugs in the bathroom. So, and like especially like with vaping, so you can I don't know like how many people here have already experienced that like in middle school, but you could totally just like walk into the bathroom and smell like, I don't know, passion fruit and like fruit punch and like tropical sunrise like flavor in the bathroom. And that's just like from people vaping. And some people like do that and like spray a whole bunch of perfume to try to cover it up. So usually like the bathrooms smell pretty interesting. Um,
The next question. Is it popular to date in high school? Okay, I would say that there is. Okay. There's a lot of like relationships that happen in high school. But especially like in the IB program, it's not like, oh, because you're in the IB program, everyone's so focused on school that they don't have time to date. Like there is still time to date because like people choose to do it, right? But my advice is that you shouldn't date in high school, because high school is a time where you discover yourself. So if you date in high school, you have to worry about someone else and yourself, and you'll probably like be focused on another person more than yourself. So it's not healthy. Oh, okay. And then I just want to say that high school relationships honestly don't last. Like they really don't last. And just think about it. Like there's only like 100 people in your program, and will you really find your soulmate out of 100 people? Like probably not. So I think that you shouldn't date in high school, but it is pretty popular. Like there are a lot of people who are dating. And Song Pefei 老师 said that there's no students in the academy program who do that, right? Like do
I
drugs
think
or
that
like
relates to
vape?
drugs. And
Yeah,
the
there
answer is
there are
actually,
some
yeah.
people in academies who do that. Well, like I don't know who specifically, because I can just assume based on like um their actions. Like I don't know. But I think there probably are students who do it, but just like try to stay away from them. And next question is, do neat notes help? Uh, neat notes do help, but I would say that if you're taking notes in class and you want to get all the information that your teacher is saying down, then it doesn't matter how neat they are. Like you can still study off of them. And my notes aren't aesthetic or neat at all, but I still managed to get straight A's.
So what I want to say about neat notes is that last year I tried to like make those really aesthetic notes, and honestly it got me nowhere because I would be so focused on making it look good or like copying down all the information that I wouldn't be processing the information myself. So and when you say neat notes, I assume you're talking about like paper notes. And what I would do is I would take notes like on a Google Doc, or literally just make a Quizlet on the spot and start like taking notes on that Quizlet, so I don't have to go through the extra effort of like making another quiz like flashcards to study. But if it all depends on how you learn, because if you learn better when you write things down and remember it better, then I would write things down. And also, like when you're taking notes, you shouldn't just like copy down the slides or whatever your teacher says, but instead you should focus more on like summarizing it or putting it into your own words, just so you can understand all the information like while it's coming at you.
Yeah, adding on to that, like when you like take notes during class, you don't have to worry about like writing down all the information, because normally your teacher will like give you the access to the slideshow, so you can always go back after the class to review the slideshow.
Like be more focused on writing down what the teacher says, because what they say probably like isn't on the slides, or they could be saying information about like something is going to be on the quiz and you want to like write that down to make sure you remember it.
I just want to make like a reference to like my micro biology class. So I'm not so like if you're ever gonna be going to the MSA in the future and you're gonna take molecular biology, they'll and if you ever have this Mr. Strad, he always like recommends that you do not take notes, just listen to him in class. And basically he has been doing this for like 20 years, 30 years, and yeah, and his method really works as long as you like really pay attention to the teacher. He already posted all like the slideshows online, and basically his words are like what's like golden. You want to like absorb his information. And yeah, and that class is the only class I didn't take notes. Yeah, I still have an A in that class. So I just want to like,
And definitely try to find like a note-taking strategy that works for you. So obviously like different classes have different types of notes. So for example, my AP biology class, like all our notes are on paper. Like our teacher printed out a template for us and we have to fill out all the notes on paper, which I think like people may think that that's really time consuming, but I think it's really helpful. And there's also like these guiding questions that I also try to write down the answers to, because it really does help solidify my memory. And I think that just like for sciences in general, you should take notes on paper.
In contrast, I actually think that the notes for biology are really a waste of time and I don't absorb anything from it more than I absorb just by like listening to her or watching the videos that she sends. But honestly, it all really depends on what type of learner you are. And there's this really nice quiz that I'm putting in chat, and it really helps you figure out like what type of study method is best for you and like what type of learner you are. So there's like something called kinesthetic, that's like when you learn by doing things hands-on and remember better when it's like hands-on, or you could be like visual or like with images or like auditory. Like it all depends on what the type of person you are, and that quiz can really help.
Is there anything else that people would like to add? And is there anything else that the participants would like to ask in the chat? Well, if there's nothing else to add and there's no new, how's life? Life is pretty good, but it's also pretty stressful. But that's because like even though we had a lot of days off this week, like on the days off, I've been trying to spend that on like extracurriculars and things outside of school. So I wouldn't spend that day off like doing homework and catching up on schoolwork. So that's why it's stressful, but I'll catch up over the weekend. So yeah.
I would say it's like it's pretty stressful, but also like school is always stressful. And I kind of, if you ever like lose the motivation to keep going, first of all, don't lose the motivation to keep going. But if you ever do, like, don't have the motivation to like wake up and go to school, um, what I do is I tell myself that like after this makes no sense, but after today, today is over. So like there's no like if you're stressed about a test, like after the test is over, like it's only going to be like 30 minutes of like a stressful period where you're actually doing the test. So like after it's over, you don't have to worry about it anymore. And then that, and I also count down the days to the weekends. So it really helps.
And also, like if you're used to being stressed all the time, then like you won't think assignments are stressful anymore. So like maybe something that I might have thought was really stressful in freshman year is really easy in my junior year because I'm already like used to this kind of stress level. Yeah, desensitization. Yeah.
I mean, there's that, but also you could just get like good at something. So, I know in my freshman year we had, I think like one timed essay, and I was like so scared about it that, well, it was like multiple, but I was so scared about it that I pre-wrote an essay the night before, remembered the whole essay, and then copied it, like just wrote it down on the day of a test. And and now I just like go for it. Like as long as I have my thoughts organized, I can just write my whole essay and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but I definitely don't suggest you guys write a whole essay before that class and then do it. Because that's not worth it. Like just as long as you prepare for it, like for English essays, you probably can't really prepare for it except for like pay attention to all the symbolism in the book and blah blah blah. But for history essays, at least so far for me, our teachers have been giving us the sample of questions that could pop up on the test. And we'd have on the actual day of the test, we'll have two of those questions and we choose one to answer. But but like she'll give us a document that has all the possible essay questions, which is like 11 of them, and then you'll have to just sort of like brainstorm each one. But honestly, like brainstorming is enough. Like you don't need to write an entire essay because as long as you know the facts, like it doesn't matter how good your writing is, because in history it doesn't matter. It's not like English class where you have to worry about sounding all fancy, because for history, as long as you have all the data and statistics and the dates, then you can get a good grade. And there's a curve too, because IB curve. Yeah. So if there's no more questions, then, and is there anything else to add? that you guys would like to add? Like any advice for incoming freshmen? Okay. Well, if there's no more questions and nothing else to say, then that concludes. Yes, don't stress. It's bad for your health. So that concludes our, wait a second. I can't see the chat. Okay, but that concludes our meeting. And yeah, so thank you to everyone who came. And also remember that there's an ice skating event tomorrow from 7:30 to 9:15 p.m. And also remember that we want to collect like students outside of the Tidewater Chinese School SEAs, like videos and artwork showing appreciation to their teachers. So we can include that in the video. So yeah, if there's nothing else to say, then that concludes our meeting. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. Bye.